Welcome to another Donger deck discussion. My name is Sith Holocron, I'm with the Dongers of Runeterra, and I've finally done it. I've went deep. But hopefully, as you can see from the screen, this is not a normal deck, because I don't make normal decks, and normal decks are rubbish. So let's make a really different deck. And it's all about milling yourself. I mean, I can't actually believe I'm combining mill that I hate in card games and deep that I hate in this game and making a deck out of both of them. But okay, so here goes. Here is my version of deep. And the idea is really quite simple. So here's the deck. What you're going to do is you're going to stall with cheap units. Okay? Like, we're running Freljord. Okay, so this isn't like the standard Nautilus deep deck. This isn't like BBG's super fast to deep deck. This is Twisted Fate's deep deck. It's like a poker game gone to hell. Or the bottom of the ocean, or Davy Crockett's locker, or some nautical kind of thing. Anywho, what we're going to do is we're trying to level up Twisted Fate as fast as possible by milling ourselves as fast as possible, then drawing a second Twisted Fate with Entreat, and freak people out as they auto-concede. Because it's just ridiculous. Like, it's completely ridiculous. I can't actually believe people haven't thought about doing different deep decks, you know, because we have control and mid-range and aggro, and deep's pretty much, well, just deep, you know, go 15 cards down and do that, and then people added Malkai in, and then he was like, you know, obliterating your deck and milling you that way. This is not what this does. So here's the thought process behind this madness. But the madness is actually real good. So something's working. We've got Omen Hawks, Avuzan Sentries. You know, they're 1 health units. They're not going to do very much. So to keep them alive, we've a couple of Brittle Steels and Elixir of Iron to actually really keep them alive should they be pulled in by challengers and things like that. Entreat's a card that only ever gets used in a single champion deck. And in our Discord, one of our patrons was asking if I want to make just a single version deck, which actually got me thinking about making a single champion deck. And we suggested Ezreal with Shadow Isles because it's kind of disgusting. This is also kind of disgusting. Because when you play Entreat for 2 mana, you get a Twisted Fate. And that's pretty damn good. And the reason it's pretty damn good is you're going to be doing all the normal Twisted Fate things to level up his... You know, he needs to see 8 cards, and there's easy ways to see 8 cards in this deck. Actually, really quite quickly. So, if you haven't got him, use one to bring one out. If you get another one, just, you know, as in the actual card, or another Entreat, you play it when he's just about to level up. So you can level him up by drawing the champion. So if he's at 7 out of 8, hit Entreat, you get another one, and then you pick a card. Any card, and he gets 3 more, which is just, what the hell, good in this deck. Because we want to go quite low on cards. But then, kind of kill Twisted Fate. And I know this sounds completely, like, against everything you've ever been taught. Kill your champion. If you're not in Shadow Isles, I mean, it makes no sense at all. This time you need to, because he's leveled. The first thing he does is draw cards. And we're down to about 5 or 6 cards by the time this happens. And you don't want Twisted Fate there. Throw him out into something that you know he's going to die. because everything else that you've now got in hand wins you the game. Make It Rain is fantastic, so it's a 3 of. And then we've got Jawl Hunters, which is kind of great for two reasons. Not only is it a 4-1 challenger, so not bad. Can take out a lot of things. So you can take out a Misfortune, can take out an Anivia. You know, does all right. Does all right. What it really does, though, in this deck is it creates a random sea monster in your hand, and you want them because you're going to go deep really quickly, and then you get all your little sea monsters being lovely and sea monstery. But we take a lot of damage, and we really do take a lot of damage. So the Tavern Keeper's there to literally only hit our Nexus. We struggle with Nexus damage, because unless you get like an Omen Hawk or a Sentry out in the first couple of rounds, you're probably down 10 by round 3 or 4, depending on if you're attacking on odds and evens, which doesn't really help matters. But he does, and he's a solid 3/3. So there's your 1, your 2, and your 3 drops. And then we'll go into the nitty-gritties of the actual deck, because we don't have that much. It's almost a 50-50 split between units and spells. So let's go after him and go to the wonderful Lure of the Depths. And what a card this is. Reduce the cost of sea monster allies everywhere by 1 and draw a sea monster. This is pretty key mid-game, where you're trying to draw cards, especially when you've got a Twisted Fate on the board. This is when you want to be dropping the Lures of the Depths. They're all cheaper, everything is kind of good, it's a 3 of, it's all excellent. Now, should the unfathomable happen, that you're just about to level up Twisted Fate, Fury of the North. Thank you very much. Now, this is only a 2 of, but this isn't a standard Freljord deck by anything, and all the spells in here are either to stop people hitting you, boost your health by a couple, or go 4/4, which is pretty awesome, because then you've got like a 6/6 Twisted Fate, which is kind of groovy. And then obviously we have Salvage to toss 2 and draw 2, and that helps Twisted Fate and all that sort of stuff. So he levels up, as you can tell, quite easily through the card mechanics that are available in this deck. And then Zap is there literally because he gives you an extra spell mana. That's it. He's great. He's only a 2/2, but he's elusive, so he can hit the Nexus, get you maybe a wee bit of damage in as well. But you're not really looking for... It is, at the end of the day, a deep deck. You need to go deep, and once you go deep, you put out an enormous amount of damage. Like an enormous amount of damage, just like deep always does. And then the last 2 are just monsters, to be honest, but 2 real good ones. So the elusive deep 3/3, if it strikes a Nexus and it's elusive, happy days. If you're deep, he goes to a 6/6, which is kind of good. And then one of my favourite cards in the entire game. I mean, look at all this. So when I'm summoned, this Shipwreck Hoarder, you toss 2, that's more draw, and shuffle 2 treasures into your deck. So you get 2 of these. Create 5 random cards in hand. They cost 0 and are fleeting. If I'm tossed, you draw me instead. You can get this. You can get this. You can get the Vicious Plightworm, which is just absolutely disgusting, as that gets a 3/3 once your deck has 15 cards or less, so it's actually an 8/8. It's horrendous. You know, this is just, I mean, it's yuck. It's deep. It's yuck. It's mill that makes it double yuck. However, I've played 3 games with it and won all 3. So I know an awful lot of the people in my Discord at the Dongers of Runeterra, where there's a link in the pinned comments, love playing deep. This is a brand new version of how to play deep. I quite like this version. So why don't you take the deck code, which is also in the pinned comments, as I share it now, and play it. Let us know what you think. Come and join our Discord. Tell me if you think it's a good deck or not. My name's Sith Holocron. We're from the Dongers of Runeterra. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Why don't you just subscribe? It's a heck of a lot easier. You get to see these all the time. And that is us, and leaves us just to finally say, enjoy the deck. Dung is out.